Hello everyone and welcome to another one of our Eurovision Ireland review shows. I'll quickly go around the room. There's John and he should have Staggy. There he is.
Hi.
Sarah.
Hi.
James.
Hi.
Bogdan.
Hi everyone.
And myself, Richard. Hi, Anne. So today we're talking about Melodifestivalen and we're reviewing the final from 2015. So it took place on Saturday the 14th of March and was held in the Friends Arena and in the Solna region of Stockholm. And that was it was the third national final to have taken part at Friends Arena. The show was hosted by Robin Paulsen, who is a comedian down in Sweden. And then he was joined by Sanna Nilsson, who won Melodifestivalen and represented Sweden the year before in 2014. She finished in third place with 218 points in Copenhagen. So today we're going to go in running order, but it won't be like we used to going in order that you see on the screen. But that's how we've divvied out the songs. So I'll start off with song number 1, which is Samir and Victor. So they sang Groupie. I thought it was a rather fun, bright and lively start to the contest. They're joined by 5 backing dancers too, so that added a real party vibe, so it got the audience going. And not only did Samir and Victor have a real connection with the audience, but they gave good connection with the cameras as well, which is quite important if you want the votes. I just thought there were 2 lads really enjoying themselves, and it came across like that. And I think if you're enjoying yourself, it's willing people to vote for them, even though they didn't do as well as they normally do and have done in other Melodifestivalen. One thing you may have noticed about them is they always sing in Swedish. Now, at the welcome party in Stockholm in 2016, the following year, we asked them the question. Apparently Samir doesn't speak English, so you'll never see any of their songs translated into English at all unless it's done by another artist. Yep. Song number 2 is performed by JTR, and Bogdan's going to talk to us about that.
Yeah, JTR and building it up. We have 3 young men, let's say men, but they're quite young. They reminded me of Lighthouse 10 and Soldiers of Love, like a younger version of that. And I'll start with the positive, saying that, okay, it had a good beat. And the song had a nice clapping moment towards the end. Other than that, for me, the song was quite bland. And it was almost 3 minutes to building up to nothing. I just watched it and didn't feel anything, didn't feel any connection. I'm sorry, but it was just sort of like a feeling song. It didn't say anything to me, but it was enjoyable-ish to watch.
Okay. Right, we now cross to John for song 3 that was performed by Dinana.
Yes, I got Make Me La La La. Now, I always get a bit worried when I see a song that's got brackets in the title, because it makes me think, yeah, why are they there? Either put them in or take them out. Don't have them in brackets. Anyway, this song, not bad. It was a bit of a banger. Yeah, you can imagine it's at Eurodisco. It needed a dancing on stage. It builds up. But there's a lot of sort of instrumental non-singing stuff going on. They're not bad in itself, but I think the mix they used at Melodifestivalen was that they should have saved that for like a remix. They should have put a bit more substance into this song. It was nothing wrong with it. It was just maybe the wrong mix for the contest. Because it got the makings of a decent song. Yeah, she came last. Sorry, 12th. Came 12th. No one comes last. She came 12th. And yeah, it sort of epitomised probably what was going on in Sweden's Melodifestivalen in the last 10 years, really.
So we now move over to James for song 4 that was performed by Jon Henrik Falcon, and this was one of my personal favourites this year.
Yes, so I get to talk about Ja Frey, which I absolutely love. This was hands down my favourite in Melodifestivalen that year. It came first in its semi-final, and there was an expectation that it could win grand final. I just absolutely love this. It was almost like Kano before Kano. It sort of had, you know, strong Sami elements in there. There's a bit of yoiking. I absolutely love the staging. You've got the couple wearing traditional Sami costume, you know, sort of twirling around with each other. Jon's just centre stage, letting his voice and his charm and charisma sort of ride. And you also have the sort of people that look like they're on sticks. So we've got a bit of Kate Miller-Heidke in there as well. But yeah, I thought everything about that, I thought that could have gone to Eurovision and done incredibly well. Am I bitter that it didn't win? A little bit. I still think Sweden could have won with that song, but yeah, it's traditional. It's got Sami influences. It reminds me a bit of Nocturne as well. There's not actually a lot of lyrics in there. It's more chanting, more music, but sublime, beautiful. Loved it.
Move on to Sarah with song number 5 that's performed by Jessica Anderson.
Oh well, Jessica. I must say that after seeing her as part of Fame in 2003, I was expecting quite big things from Jessica Anderson, and she is very well loved in Sweden. So I can remember that night, 2015, watching with great anticipation what she was going to do. And I have to say, I ended up feeling disappointed. It's not that Jessica did anything wrong. I mean, she looked gorgeous. Her outfit fitted the occasion. She was alone on stage, no backing singers there. And that's all she needed, just simple staging. I didn't have a problem with that. The problem I had was with the song. I just felt it was just really a bland ballad that didn't really go anywhere. And unfortunately, she was placed between two big favourites in that year's contest. And I think that's what really sort of did Jessica down, really. And it's such a shame because she's a fine singer, great vocalist, but I just think it just wasn't her year.
Yep. So I'm up next again with Monzello, who won the contest with Heroes. It took him 3 attempts to finally win Melodifestivalen after trying with Karamia and Hope and Glory. To the eagle-eyed amongst you, some would say it's the same staging and outfit that he wore. The staging is slightly different in Melodifestivalen to the one at Eurovision. The back projection is there, but the little boiler, the animated boiler that was there, was actually in blue with like a hat, whereas at Eurovision he was white and like dungarees type animation. While I saw a winner on the night when I was there in the arena, I didn't get the feeling that I did in 2012 when I saw the Ream win with Euphoria. I didn't think that's going to win Eurovision, even though it had a little gimmick with a little animated boy. But it proved wrong on the night, and it did go and win Eurovision. So, yeah. Right, song 7 is Lynas Fenning, and John is going to talk about that.
Yes, me again. Right, yes. Old Lynas, yeah, he's got a bit of a distinctive look about him, he has, with his Hopi ears and his piercings and tattoos and like. It wasn't the sort of song I'd expect to come from a guy who looked like that, but let's not judge by appearances. Not a bad song. Again, I thought it was just very typical of Melodifestivalen of the last 10 years. Like a lot of the songs that I think we're reviewing here. A little bit formulaic. You could tell where the verses and choruses were going to change, and the bridge and all the rest of it. There was a lot of style in it, a lot of busyness going off, flames and dancing and stuff like that to make up for maybe a bit of a lack of substance there. As a contest song, I'm not sure, but I can imagine it. When you get one of these travelogue programs and they want some music in the background, it would fit in quite well for that, just to help a travelogue along, views from a drone, that sort of thing. As a contest song, yeah, it finished 6th out of 12. There are better, there are worse in this national final. It probably finished about where it should have done, really.
So it's back to James with song 8 that was performed by Issa.
Issa and Don't Stop. Well, first thing I want to say is the moment it started, I was like, oh, it's Sweden's answer to Taylor Swift. It just had that very sound, what's it? Haters gonna hate, hate, hate. It just had that sound to it. So I was like, okay, it's very much of its time. The other thing that struck me was she's on stage, she's got her backing dancers, it's all very slick, all very rehearsed. But that sort of white hoodie that she was wearing, I was like, I've seen this before. Where have I seen this? And then it struck me, it was Zena from Belarus in Tel Aviv, like it. I was like, that I knew I'd seen it somewhere. So, you know, it's curious, thinking, you know, did Zena watch that and go, oh, that's a good idea, you know, I have to remember that. Yeah, it was upbeat, it was boppy. I think my biggest problem with it was I was listening to it and thinking, okay, it's not bad, it's entertaining, you know, if it went to the contest, I can imagine it finishing sort of mid-table. But when it gets to a point where you're thinking, hang on, I thought songs were only supposed to be 3 minutes long and this has gone on for about 15 now. I think that's when you sort of get a problem where you think, actually, this is really repetitive. And I feel like at least 2 minutes of the song was just the chorus sort of on a constant loop. And by the end, I was thinking, you know, don't stop, no, please stop. You know, this is enough now. Could it have done well at Eurovision? I suspect it's the kind of thing that people would have responded to, but it would have probably ended up mid-table. And I seem to remember it did more or less the same at Melodifestivalen that year. So not terrible, but not great either. Sorry.
We'll now move on to song 9 with Bogdan, and it was performed by Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah, song number 9 is Mött mig gamla stan. I think I said it right. And then translation should be Meet Me in the Old Town. Thank you, James, for that. Okay, the song is very Melodifestivalen. You hear it and it's had the same recipe we hear over and over again, year after year. It had all the ingredients. We all know what to expect. Unfortunately, even though Magnus is charismatic and the song is good, what were you wearing? I'm sorry, like, what were you wearing? It's just distracted from the song, and I could not enjoy the performance, even though he was obviously trying, but I absolutely hated what he was wearing. I like the song. I like the performance, but yeah, whoever styled you, no, don't do that again. Simple is better. Don't overdo it. Other than that, it was a good song.
So we move over to Sarah for song 10 that was performed by Eric Sade.
Right, Eric Sade and the song Sting. Now, obviously we know that Eric went to Eurovision in 2011 with Popular. And I have to say, it was probably a little bit of Popular in there with a lot of white, being the difference. Obviously, Eric in white, the backing dancers dressed in white. No doubt about it, a catchy song, catchy chorus, typical Eric Sade kind of stuff. And I think if it had gone to Eurovision, it might have done very well. Whether it would have reached the heights that he did in 2011, not sure. I did sense a little bit of cockiness, I think, in parts with Eric, because I felt that he thought he'd got it in the bag. But unfortunately, he was in a year where he was up against some pretty strong entries as well. So not a bad song, but I think I preferred Popular.
Right, song 11, and I'm going to speak about this, and it was performed by Mariette, and she sang Don't Stop Believing. I haven't really got much to say about this, I'll be honest. The staging was rather dark and moody, and she portrayed her emotions like that as well, so it all sort of fitted in. However, real contrast, the song was delivering real positive messages, so I didn't quite get how it all worked. Got the added wind machine. You've always got to have a wind machine somewhere in a Swedish national final or a Eurovision held by Sweden, and that sort of lifted up her long black cape. It was like a wedding dress train, it was that long. Overall, it's a pleasant song and portraying a positive message. didn't really see the overall, I don't know. I just don't see how people would have voted for it personally. And finally, we cross back over to Sarah for the song number 12, performed by Hasse Andersson.
Right, Hasse Andersson. I'm going to try and pronounce it, and I apologise to any Swedish viewers if I get this wrong. Guld och gröna skogar. Okay. Okay, so what I love about Melodifestivalen is the variety that the Swedes bring to it. So you get a bit of pop, you get your ballads, but you also get a bit of country and western as well. And I felt that this was exactly what Hasse brought to the contest. Obviously one of the older performers in the final, nothing wrong with that. And I just felt it was a very sort of happy-go-lucky, sort of cheerful song, a nice one to end the contest on. You've got a violinist there, always good having a bit of violin in the Eurovision. Happy, sort of party-like, but I felt it would probably be something you'd probably play at your dad's birthday party, if I'm honest. If I'm honest, I can't see sort of the youth vote that would have gone for it that night, but I may be wrong, who knows. I think the line dancers would probably have loved this. It's a great line dancing song. And fair dues to him, he performed it in Swedish, which I always give credit to anybody performing in their native language. So well done, Hasse. And he also it was very popular, popular in the voting as well, and he scored quite high. So well done.
And I have to say, being there on the night in the Friends Arena, everybody was on their feet for that, and not every song had that, and that just shows how popular he was in Sweden. So on to the voting. Måns won both for the international jury and televote, surprise, surprise, but the 11 international juries came from Armenia, Austria, Belgium, Cyprus, Estonia, France, Israel, Malta, Netherlands, Slovenia, and of course the United Kingdom. So overall, Mariette came third with 102 points. Jon Henrik came second with 139 points, and Måns stormed it with 288 points overall. But how did he do at Eurovision? We obviously know he won, and he scored 365 points. Russia was runner-up with Polina Gagarina, A Million Voices, with 303 points. So it's not the biggest of winning margins. And then, of course, Il Volo came third with 292 points with Grande Amore. So we know Måns obviously won and took victory at Eurovision. But how do we think Jon Henrik or Mariette would have done at Eurovision? John?
Jon Henrik, yeah. I preferred that song. I actually preferred the one Guld och gröna skogar as well, song 12. Just my sort of thing. It's happy, it's jolly. It might have sunk like a stone at Eurovision, but it would have pleased me. Jon Henrik, on the other hand, that I would have loved to have seen that get through, and it would have bumped Sweden up in my estimations.
Sarah, do you think Jon Henrik or Mariette could have done it?
I think Jon Henrik, definitely, for the fact that it was something very different, and sometimes very different can stand out at Eurovision. I think the Swedes would have scored high with it. Possible winner, just for the fact that it was so different. Yeah, it's a shame really that he didn't go, I think.
James, do you think Jon Henrik or Mariette could have done it?
Mariette, I think, would have come mid-table. She would have got the points that Sweden traditionally do get because they tend to send something very polished. Jon Henrik, I think, could have won hands down very easily. I think it was so different. I think in 2015 especially, there was still a lot of hype for Frozen, and of course in the second Frozen film, the Nafalda tribe are based on Sami people. So I think there was definitely a sort of taste out there for Sami culture. And I know which song I prefer. I'll keep it nice by saying that. I know which song I prefer. I know which one I wish had gone, and I think it would have won very easily.
Bogdan, if Jon Henrik or Mariette went, how do you think they would have done?
Well, I have to agree with James about Mariette. I think it would have been like middle of the table somewhere. I don't think it had the potential to win. John's song I absolutely love, but I don't think all Europe would have voted for it. I think there are lots of people who would have voted for it and would definitely be somewhere in top 5. But if either John and Mariette would have gone to Eurovision, I think Russia would have won the contest. So I think Sweden made the right choice if they wanted to win. Having said that, I still love John's song.
I think John Henrik could have done it. I think he could have won Eurovision, but I couldn't see a 62-point margin of winning. I think it would have been a lot closer with Russia and Italy personally, but I think that's a general consensus. John Henrik possibly could have won. So it's time to say our goodbyes. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back with another review program very soon. So it's goodbye from John and Staggy.
Cheers. Bye. Stay safe.
Bye from Sarah.
Bye.
It's goodbye from James.
Hey there.
It's goodbye from Bogdan.
Bye.
It's goodbye from me, Richard. Bye.